Your 4 favorites are Kill Bill Volume 2, Ron, the Bird with the Crystal Plumage, and Ghost Dog, The Way of the Samurai. And if your 4 favorites didn't already make it clear, your Letterboxd says you love revenge movies, samurai, and samurai seeking revenge. So I definitely kept that in mind. Naturally, after looking at your favorites, I started thinking of a bunch of Sergio Leone films, because you've got a Tarantino film in your favorites, and Tarantino was heavily inspired by spaghetti westerns. And at one point, he said The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly was his favorite film of all time. And you've got a Kurosawa film in your favorites, and A Fistful of Dollars is an unofficial remake of Yojimbo. And you've got an Argento film in your favorites, specifically one with a Morricone score. But you already saw almost all the ones I thought of. The only one you didn't have marked as watch was For a Few Dollars More. But my top choice for you is Lady Snowblood, which was one of Tarantino's biggest influences for the Kill Bill movies. And you mentioned color in your review for Ron, and this one has incredible color. Plus, it's a revenge movie, so it seems perfect for you. Kuroneko was also one of the first movies that popped into my head because it has two of your favorite things, revenge and samurai. And it's a horror film like The Bird with the Crystal Plumage. But Onibaba is considered this director's magnum opus, so I feel like I should include this one too. Ugetsu also came to mind, but I don't really have an explanation, it just feels right. Since you've already seen a lot of samurai movies and a lot of my favorite revenge movies, including my favorite samurai revenge movie, I started thinking of Japanese movies that aren't samurai films, but that are about revenge. So I think you might like An Actor's Revenge, Why Don't You Play in Hell, and Confessions. You already saw a lot of the movies that influenced Kill Bill, so I'm going to focus on a few smaller references. You didn't have Sin City marked as watched, and you can definitely feel Kill Bill's influence on this film stylistically, plus Tarantino directed a scene in this movie. In Kill Bill Volume 2, there's a line that's a direct reference to His Girl Friday. I know this movie isn't really comparable to Kill Bill, but I think you should check it out. Dialogue is such an important part of Tarantino's films, and the dialogue in His Girl Friday is fantastic, and this is one of Tarantino's top 10 favorite films of all time. Kill Bill Volume 2 also has a reference to The Driver, and this one seems up your alley. The postman always rings twice is mentioned specifically by name in Kill Bill Volume 2. Since you like Ron, I think you should check out Hero because both movies use color in similar ways. Ron is a Kurosawa film based on Shakespeare's King Lear, and you already saw his film Throne of Blood, which is based on Macbeth. So I'm going to recommend The Bad Sleep Well, which is based on Hamlet. Ron is an epic historical war film, and another one of those that you didn't have marked as watched is Lawrence of Arabia. Another movie that can also be considered an epic historical war film despite also being an animated fantasy adventure film is Princess Mononoke. And the last time I did a video for someone with Ron in their 4 favorites, that person also had Princess Mononoke in their 4 favorites. So I think there's a good chance you'll love this one too. Since you like The Bird with the Crystal Plumage, I wanted to bring up Mario Bava. And then I saw your review for Black Sabbath said Mario Bava is your favorite director's favorite director. So clearly you get it. But you didn't have Blood and Black Lace marked as watched, and I think that's his most influential film. And I'm gonna throw in Kill Baby Kill because there are a couple shots in this movie that genuinely creep me out. You already saw my go-to recommendation for Ghost Dog. So then I started thinking about how RZA composed the score for Kill Bill and Ghost Dog. So I wanted to recommend another movie he worked on, but you saw the ones I had in mind. But RZA had a pretty good role in the movie Nobody, and one of the characters in Ghost Dog is named Nobody, and Nobody is a revenge movie, and you obviously love those. And I wanted to include another Jim Jarmusch movie, and you saw the ones that are most comparable to Ghost Dog. The one that you didn't have marked as watched that I think you'd enjoy is Down by Law.